Yo, what's going on? We're back. We got Big Mike Raider in the house. We're going to talk some Raiders football. We got the Chiefs at the Raiders. Chiefs are 8.5 point favorites. Now, first, before we get into this game, I got to ask you, how is Raider Nation feeling about the benching of Derek Carr? I know everybody probably has different feel, like a lot of people have different opinions and whatnot, but from your perspective, what is the overall consensus in Raider Nation about that? Because I mean, I wasn't necessarily surprised, but I was kind of surprised they did it without letting him like finish the season out. And then the other part of that equation is Devontae Adams clearly went to Vegas to play with his guy.
Yeah.
And so how does that sit with Raider Nation in terms of maybe pissing off Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
Or, but he showed out last week, so maybe he'll enjoy it with Jared Stidham at quarterback. But he definitely didn't seem too happy about it when they asked him about it. But yeah, how overall, how is Raider Nation feeling about the benching of Derek Carr? Was it time to let him go? Should they have waited for the whole season and let him finish out his season? I think they should have, honestly, out of a respect factor. He's been the life and soul of the team throughout all of the issues off the field and things like that have happened in the past couple of years. He's kind of been the heart and soul, putting his blood, sweat, and tears into it. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I think with the Derek Carr, the whole him getting benched and him deciding to, he's going to walk away from the Raiders for the rest of the season. It's a reminder that the NFL is a business. And I think what Mark Davis did here was he kind of flexed a little bit. He took a page out of his dad's book and was like, hey, this is a business. You're not getting it done. We're going to have to let you go. And now the reason why he did that is because if Derek Carr did get hurt, he's going to be owed that fully guaranteed money. So that's the reminder, like, hey, this is a business. We have to protect an asset. We got, and then there is talks that he's worth of maybe a first round pick, maybe a second round pick. If he gets hurt, then we're stuck with him. We're stuck with a guy that, we really don't want, doesn't fit in the system. He's shown that he doesn't fit in the system. And it just overall isn't a good look. Now, as far as Raider Nation goes, as far as like how we feel about him getting benched, there's three sides. There's the people in the middle that's like, okay, they see that it is a business. They do see that it is, it is what it is. He didn't play well. He doesn't fit in Josh McDaniel's system. So, hey, thank you for your service, but it is time to go. And then there's the extreme ends on both ends. So there's a cult-like following that Derek Carr has from Raider Nation, that they've seen Derek Carr as their quarterback for the last 9 years, and they think that he can't do no wrong, and they attribute it to the lack of help that Derek Carr had with the team. Like the defense was bad, and coordinated multiple coaches and coordinators, and the whole Henry Ruggs situation that happened. Like there's a lot of things that though that cult-like following will attribute to Derek Carr not being successful. And that's the reason why he's just like, that he's this guy that they hold on to so dearly. Like, hey, this is the guy that could get it done, and you got to get him in the right situation. There's the other side that's like, Derek Carr is – I just saw that.
We both saw that at the same time. Shout out Raider Nation. Shout out Wasted Talent.
Salute, bro.
That's hilarious, though.
And there's the other side that, he's just they see a quarterback that struggles under pressure, is a, he kind of gets happy feet in the pocket and kind of folds when, there's a lot of pressure. And just like Wasted said, he's a bum, right? That's one of the people that's one of the things that people say about Derek Carr is that, he didn't have like the right pieces, at times, but there were times where he did, and he still didn't deliver. So that's Raider Nation. It's a divided, it's a divided nation as far as, what they want from Derek Carr. What, do they want to keep him or not? This is divided. Me, where I stand, I'm glad that they got rid of him. I think it's time for us to move on and make it and start anew and go with somebody that can fit in Josh McDaniel's system, because whether you like him or not, he's our coach, and we need to fit. We need somebody to fit in that system. So that's kind of where I stand with that one.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Time to move on. I can agree with that. It was a long run.
Yeah,
Not a whole lot of success.
yeah,
He's proven he can stay in the league, but team wise, they haven't been winning a bunch of games, and
right.
it's been what, like 10 years now or something. Like it's been a long time.
He's
So
been our quarterback for 9 years.
yeah, so nearing 10 years. But I'm glad you brought up the money situation on if he gets hurt and you guys would have to owe the guaranteed money.
Yep.
Nobody's really mentioned that I've heard at least. So I'm glad you brought up that point. That's kind of the clarity that that now it makes complete sense because I was kind of coming from the I understand it's time to move on from him, but I was like, yo, let him finish out the season. He's been a class act with the Raiders. Like he's been like I said, holding it down when all that other stuff, all that drama, everything off the field was going on.
Right.
It was all to his disadvantage, really, a lot of it. You're talking about a first round star wide receiver. Now you don't have him anymore, this and that. Like it seemed like it just kept happening to him. So it's going to be good for both sides to kind of move on and see where Derek Carr is able to go to in the future and things like that. Shout out to Steph Colonel in the chat as well. What up, bro? But yeah, let's get into this game real quick though. So we got the Chiefs -8.5 now. I don't play too far into trends when I'm betting, but I do take a look at them. And one thing that has proven to be a very strong trend is when the Chiefs are big favorites, they are no bueno. You don't want to back them. I think actually, I don't have the exact number, but anything over a field goal favorites for the Chiefs is like horrible winning percentage in terms of against the spread. They'll probably win the game, but they don't usually cover that. And this is a big one with Jared Stidham, the way he played last week. I think I can trust the Raiders on 8.5 against this Chiefs team, especially the way the Chiefs have played the past couple of weeks. I mean, they had a close overtime win over the Texans, 2 close wins over the Broncos. Now those are 3 games where they had that big spread. So I think I would back the Raiders here if I was taking a side. I'm not gonna because there is just the chance that the Chiefs just get hot and roll into the playoffs and smack them around a little bit. I don't think that's gonna happen though. But I'm taking the Raiders if I had to pick one. So I guess I would lean that way. And I know you like the over. You were talking about that pre-show a little bit. But yeah, what are your thoughts overall on this game?
Overall, I got the Raiders winning this game. And this is not really you know me. I've been on this show for weeks now. I'm not the bias. I'm not the I call it down the middle. I call it how I see it. The Chiefs and the Raiders, they when they play each other, the record's thrown out of the window. And you saw that the last game where the Raiders had a 17-point lead in Kansas City and blew it, but only lost by 1 point. So it's not that the Raiders can't hang with a Super Bowl caliber type team. You've seen it all season. The Raiders, they're up 10 on the 49ers last week. Yep. And we can argue that the 49ers are a Super Bowl caliber team. The problem with them is that they can't finish games. So when I see that 8.5, I'm like, okay, I don't see the Chiefs even, going over that 8.5, in the game and blowing this game out. The Raiders don't let that happen. So if I was to go the safer route, I'm going Raiders plus 8.5. And this game, it just has all the makings of a shootout. You got Patrick Mahomes; he's going for records. Kelsey,
there's a few guys. Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a second too. So yeah.
So there's a lot of records, and on top of that, let's talk about business again, right? You got Mark Davis, who is struggling to find a fan base in Las Vegas. And if you're struggling to find a fan base in Vegas, it's because they're not winning. And you're going to see it today. There's going to be more Chiefs fans in Allegiant Stadium, and that's just not good. And it's because you're not building a winning product. So
it's been that way all season, right?
Yeah, and it was. And Mark Davis, he's on record to saying even last season the Bears came to town and another team came to town, and he was embarrassed because it was more of those fans in the stadium. So in order to remedy that, you got to win. So there's going to be an order coming from up top. You must win this game. So this is not a game that the Raiders are going in the tank. I know they don't have to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs, and maybe draft position might be on their mind.
Yeah, but they're kind of middle of the pack anyway, win or lose, in terms of draft position. Like, yeah, it'll be a 1, 2, 3 pick difference, but
Yeah,
I think what you're saying is it's way more important to win the game than it is for that 3 draft swing.
exactly.
You know, you guys need a lot of pieces. So it's like somebody will be available at the spot that you end up in. I don't
Right,
think this is a lay down and lose the game on purpose type of situation.
right.
Or not Titans, the Texans and Colts. I think they might tie again. They might tie the first week of the season and the last week because they both need to lose for their draft positions. Like
Yeah,
seriously.
they might have an
But
agreement there.
but yeah, continue. I definitely agree with you that this is not a lay down game for the Raiders by any means at all.
Yeah. And, I feel like I had to put that out there, for the people who are, they do want to put money out on this game and they're kind of hesitant because the Raiders have nothing to play for. But from perspective of a Raiders fan and somebody who's been watching closely the Raiders and just knowing how just the culture and the just everything that's going on with the Raiders, I'm telling you guys right now that the Raiders are going to play this game. This is not a tank type of situation. You're going to see a full effort from this team, and you're going to see a lot of points. You're going to see Stidham continue what he did last week. I think that because he's a system quarterback under Josh McDaniels, he's been under him for 4 years. I think that he's going to continue playing well. So if we jump into some player props, I got Jarrett Stidham over 1.5 touchdowns. And like we talked, it's a plus 115 for over 1.5 touchdowns. So
yeah,
that's what I'm looking at.
Real quick, you're actually getting plus 120 if you have a points bet account, and you're also getting plus 118 on FanDuel, plus 115 on BetMGM, plus 114 Caesar. So just going through all of them in case people have different books and whatnot. But the best value if you have points bet, you're getting plus 120 there, and I think this is a great pick. Go ahead. I just want to let everybody know where they can get the best value. So.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'll pass it to you. You can throw some other things out there, but the first one that pops into my head is Jarrett Stidham 1.5 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I like that pick as well. I think I'm going to stay away from some player props. I wanted to look for Josh Jacobs. They don't have it on the board yet at the time of this recording because he is going to be a game time decision. I think he'll play, so I'm going to be monitoring that. As long as they put his number somewhere reasonable, I'm probably going to take the over. But obviously, I don't have a number on that, so I can't make that an official play. I want to take Travis Kelce. We talked about the records, so let's just get into that. Let's go through these records that are on the board and talk about if they even have a chance, because some of these are a little outrageous, but they can hit. It's definitely possible. So speaking of Josh Jacobs, if he plays, he needs 151 rushing yards to set the Raider record. Kansas City Chiefs, they are the number 20 ranked run defense so far this season. He had 154 against the Chiefs earlier this season. Now, if he plays, I mean, he's banged up clearly, but if he plays, he's been banged up all season. When he plays, he runs hard and he goes and gets those yards. So Chad's got a good point too. Shout out to Chad. You're going to see Chad in a sec, guys. We're going to do the Titans Jaguars game after we get off of here. But yeah, he's also trying to hold on to that Russian title. So there's a lot to play for Jacobs if he does play. I think he'll play for those reasons. And then we got Devontae Adams. He needs 12 catches to set the Raider record as well. And he's hit 12 plus catches in 38% of the games this year. So it's doable. He's done it this season. And then you mentioned Travis Kelce. He needs 12 catches to set the tight end record for catches. He needs about 100 and something yards to catch his own record for yards for a tight end. And I think he needs around 74, 75, whatever his prop is set at, somewhere around there to get number 2, to snatch it from Kittle. And then he'll be number 1 and 2. But I mean, it's definitely possible that he hits that 100. That 12 catches seems a little high though for me. I don't know about that, but I think his prop is at 7.5, and so is Devontae Adams. So if you want to take a stab at them maybe chasing those records, it might not be a bad play, because even if they come up short, they'll still hit that over if they are kind of looking to chase it. And then Patty Mahomes, he needs 430 yards to set the quarterback record for passing yards. The Raiders are the number 30 secondary in the league so far this season. And since 2019, Mahomes has averaged around 323 yards per game versus the Raiders. So we do have a play. Speaking of that, while we ended off on Mahomes there, something that we talked about pre-show that we liked here is there's a game special on FanDuel. So you can find it in the little game specials tab if you scroll down on the first tab in the game on FanDuel. You got Patty Mahomes and Jarrett Stidham to combine for 550 passing yards and 5+ passing touchdowns at plus 230. I'm going to put 1 unit on that. I think this is going to be a shootout. I'm with Mike on this. I also have the Raiders scoring a couple points, so we'll get to that play in a second too. But in order to do that, Stidham's going to have to ball out. And if Patty Mahomes is chasing that record at all, and he puts up 400 or 350. All we need is another 200 from Stidham, and then it comes down to the touchdowns, which,
Yeah.
I mean, Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes against the Chiefs the other day. So I can,
Right.
I can definitely see Stidham putting up another 2 and Mahomes putting up 3 or however it comes. I think it's a good play, though. So I'm going to snipe that one plus 230 with 1 unit there on FanDuel. And then, like I mentioned, I also have the Raiders team total over. So I have them scoring some points, over 20.5 points. They've hit 21 plus in 10 out of 16 games this season. The offense putting up points hasn't been the problem. I guess except for that Saints game, that was pretty bad. But other than that, I mean, there's been some other games where it was slower, but that was really the only one where it was like bad. They couldn't move the ball at all, couldn't put points on the board, obviously. Other than that, though, the offense has not been the problem this season, most of the season. They put up 21 plus in 10 out of 16, and 2 of those misses were at 20 points right on the hook. So it could easily have been in 12 out of 16 games that they're hitting this number. And then the Chiefs, they've allowed 21 plus in 11 out of 16 games this season, including 2 times to that Russell Wilson Broncos offense. I think those are the 2 highest scores the Broncos have put up this season.
Yeah.
Both, or actually, no, the other one was they've had 3 games with 23 plus points, and it's been the 2 Chiefs games and the Raiders games. The divisional games, teams get up for those. So it makes sense. But also, they also allowed like 24 to the Texans. So, I mean, this is a team that is known to allow points. They're known to play down the competition a little bit. They don't cover these big spreads. And if the Raiders are going to cover this big spread, they're going to need to put up 21 points. So I'm putting a unit on that as well. Shop around, try to find your best value. I saw it on FanDuel at minus 116. I'm going to do a little more shopping and see if I can get a little bit of a better number on that. But if 116, I have to settle for that, I'll take minus 116 on that. I think they definitely hit that. So,
yes, sir.
I'll pass it back to you if you got any other props that you want to look at.
We are calling it a shootout, so you got to get other people involved, right?
Yep.
I got Darren Waller over 34.5 yards. That seems like a for sure shot. Just because Jarrett Stidham just seems to be, he's a system quarterback. He's a coachable type of quarterback, and he's going to do exactly what Josh McDaniels wants him to do in that system.
I was about to say, he's a system quarterback in that system,
in that specific system. And, in that specific system, you look in years past, they got the tight ends involved with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, all those guys. He got those guys involved. So look for Darren Waller over 34.5 yards. That's another one that I would play as well.
Yeah, and then what do you think about Kelsey? He's sitting at 74.5 over under.
Yeah.
He needs about that to creep up to number 2. They might be chasing him on these catches, but I took a play last week. I said, all right, Jarrett Stidham starting for the Raiders. So and going into last week, Devontae Adams and Travis Kelce were tied for most touchdowns this season, right?
Yeah.
So I said, all right, we got Jarrett Stidham. The Raiders are kind of mailing it in. I don't think he'll be able to get Devontae Adams the rock that great. I didn't know what to expect. So I said, you know what? I think the Chiefs see this as a prime opportunity to get Kelce the lead. So I took Kelce for a touchdown, right? And naturally they threw to everybody else in the red zone. And I was like, why aren't they trying to get him the lead? And then the Raiders game starts and Devontae Adams just goes off and he finished with 2, I think, right?
Yeah.
So now he's 2 ahead. So that angle, the Travis Kelce angle, it's like, I don't know. I think the Chiefs they'd rather win. They're not really worried about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's what it kind of seems like.
Yeah. I think in this game, the Raiders are kind of, they want to run their offense, of course, but I think those records do matter a lot more to them than it does to the Chiefs. As far as Travis Kelce goes, he's going to get his 100 yards. I think he'll break that tight end yardage record. I think he'll break that in this game, and it wouldn't surprise me he did get another touchdown. We're depleted with our linebackers. We don't have anybody already to even cover him anyway.
I heard you and Wasted talking about that.
Yeah. If we have Trevon Merrick covering him, then Kelsey's going to have a field day as well. So 74.5 seems doable. Like I would do that, and even anytime touchdown, I would have Kelce for that one. It just seems almost automatic at this point.
And here's a bit of a funny one. We got Juju Smith-Schuster. He's set at over under 54.5 receiving yards, but he only needs 2 receiving yards today to cash in a $1.5 million bonus. Now, there's 2 ways to look at this, right?
Yep.
He wants that bread. He's telling Patty he wants that bread. It's 2 yards. It's not like it's likely that he's not going to get it. It's not like he has to be in his ear like, yo, make sure I get my 2 yards.
Yeah.
But what if the Chiefs are just like, man, we don't want to pay that man 1.5
Wow.
mil. Let's just not look his way the whole game. Now I'm just messing around. I don't think that'll happen. He's gonna hit that. But 54.5, I mean, Juju's been like up and down all season. So I'm gonna stay away from that. I just want to throw it out there because I think it's a nice little payday for Juju today. So shout out to that, man.
You know what? It'd be funny, right? Like if you could bet on what the first play of the game is going to be. I mean, how much would you put on it being a bubble screen to Juju?
To Juju, yeah. Well, you can bet on them getting them completing their first pass attempt. I think that's something FanDuel offers for most games, at least. I do remember seeing that all the time. So I think you can bet on like the first pass being completed from the Chiefs. Which if they did run that, then there's a good chance it's completed. So
there's an angle there. You know, if you find if you want to follow a narrative and angle, there's your angle right there. You know, first pass to Juju to get that 2 yards, get him a payday.
No, that would be hilarious if it really happens that way. That would be great. Real quick, you did mention that you got the Raiders winning this one. I just want to make sure everybody knows you're getting your best value on Raiders money line at plus 360 on FanDuel. If you don't have FanDuel, DraftKings is your next best bet at plus 340, plus 310 on BetMGM as well. Just so you guys know where to get the best value on that. Oh, always shop around, man, because like I just said, like BetMGM, if you just went on BetMGM, we're like, oh yeah, I like the Raiders here, I'm going to take that. You're missing out, man, because you're getting plus 310 when you can get plus 360 if you're able to have multiple books, if you have all of them and everything. Hold on, Chad just sent us a chapter in a book, so I got to read this real quick. But remember Jerry Rice's last. Oh yeah, he's definitely using his Siri talk to text or whatever. Last game, I guess, against the Niners. Last game with the Niners is probably what he meant. T.O. had 20 catches, and Seattle got kicked out of the paint to kill a big bonus too. I doubt KC is that dumb. Yeah. I mean, just the thing is, everybody is going to be looking into this, and it's all priced in. You know what I mean? Like the books know this information before we get a hold of it. I mean, obviously, if we're like tracking certain guys, we'll have the information whenever they do too. But you know, they're paying attention usually more than we are. We got to admit that. So, it's not like these numbers aren't priced in, and these storylines and everything isn't a little bit priced in at least. So, the books know what's going on. So. I don't want to. That's why I'm not really taking any player props here, is because I just don't want to have my brain feed into that so much just to end up, losing it because of that. So like I said, I swung and missed on the Kelsey narrative last week, and they didn't even look his way in the red zone. They went to everyone else. The other tight end scored a touchdown. I mean, it would make sense to just go to Kelsey in there and keep him in the running for the most touchdowns, but that's not what happens. You can never assume rational coaching, like Chad likes to say. So
there you go.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add for this game, though? Because I think I'm set with those. I do want to take a look at Jacobs whenever he gets on the board if he's ruled active, and I am going to put down a fun little like quarter unit parlay with like big juiced odds for this game and the Titans Jags game. So I'm going to drop that on the Twitter for anybody who's not following us on Twitter at MOO_sports. The link is in the description box right below. So make sure you follow us there because I'll post that parlay before game time.
Yep. So what I wanted to add was the one we kind of talked about before is the Devontae Adams 50 yards each half.
Oh yeah. It's plus 700.
Plus 700. Hey, if you're feeling adventurous, look for that. I mean, it seems doable. Put a little bit on it, and you get a big payout. First touchdown.
That'll especially work out if they are chasing that 12 catches for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So go ahead. First touchdown. I like the Raiders scoring the first touchdown here. They're really great as far as those scripted plays. All season they've been really great in those scripted plays. So if the Raiders get the ball first, I don't know. Something about Darren Waller, under Stidham at quarterback. It's a whole new system. You can say what you want about the Carr and Waller relationship that may or may not. There were some things going on that was a little bit weird, but it just seems like a revival for Darren Waller. And I want to put Darren Waller in. You can put him in for any time touchdown for here, but if he scores the first touchdown, it's a plus 1,400. So You got your sound, bro. My bad. This is another great example right here, bro. Plus 2,100 on FanDuel for Darren Waller first touchdown.
Yeah.
So that's another great example of like shop around a little bit because that plus 1,400. Now, if it hits, it's like, yeah, let's go. But You could have had plus 2,100, man. So.
Right. Yeah, so shop around for that. It seems like
Yeah.
some crazy odds, and it seems possible. Especially in a opening drive, scripted plays. You get Darren Waller involved. Devontae Adams is, of course, somebody that you can always look at, and whoever's the running back for the Raiders today, that might be another
Yeah,
look.
they have Bolden and Zamir White listed above Waller and above everybody else except Jacobs and Devontae Adams. I think they're thinking maybe if Jacobs doesn't play.
Yeah.
And then real quick, I know you talked about a parlay you had that you threw in already, or am I making that up? Because
I was talking about last week, the one I made last week.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
But
so SBG asked, he said just joined any good parlays for the Raiders Chiefs game. I think that this is a good game to like juice down a lot of those lines. Like Kelsey, we think he might get that 80, 75, whatever his line's at. But he might not. So maybe put him at 50, put Josh Jacobs for 60, put Juju for 30 or 25. Use the alt lines and build something there. I'm gonna do one that combines the Raiders game and the Titans Jags game and do like a nice little thing. So go check out the Twitter before game time, and that'll be there SBG. But I didn't have anything built specifically for this game right now. I don't want to just throw out a random thing for you just because you asked. So
I wouldn't want to do that either. But one I really do like is at 1.5 touchdowns with Jared Stidham over that, and you get some good value for that. And Mahomes over 2.5 touchdowns is pretty good value as well. So
shout out to Jesse Cardenas. I'm off on Mike. Go ahead.
You combine those, you're good. You're good to go if you want to do something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, shout out to Jesse Cardenas. Shout out Raider Nation. We out here. Shout out Big Mike. Appreciate you coming on. I think that about wraps it up, right?
Yep.
I'll go through real quick. Big Mike's on the Jared Stidham over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He loves that play. I love it too. I love it too. I'm not backing it fully, but just on the off chance that Jacobs plays and they get him like 2 touchdowns instead or something like that. But I do like that play. I think it can hit. And, he's going to need to hit that for this other play to hit. This Patty Mahomes, Jared Stidham to combine for 550 passing yards and 5+ passing touchdowns at plus 230. And then I also have the Raiders over 20.5 total points. I think they keep this game close at least. They're going to have a chance to win in the fourth quarter, I believe. And it just comes down to making the plays at that point. So if you do think that they got a chance to win here, you're getting plus 360 on the money line on FanDuel. Oh, actually, that just dropped. You're getting plus 340 now. So that's the best bet you're getting, plus 340 on FanDuel and DraftKings.
There you
dropped
go.
As we were live. It's because Mike picked them, man. They know Mike's sharp.
Somebody's
like,
looking.
Shit. Like, oh shit. Let's put the number down a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, bro. And
thanks for having me.
Even, I know you guys aren't making it to the dance this year.
Yeah,
we would still love to have you on for some playoff games. We'll talk about we'll see what the matchups are. Maybe we'll do the Chargers and Chiefs games or something. Keep it in the division you know best or whatever. So we'll figure it out from there.
Let's do it for the playoffs, man. I'm down.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. Happy betting. Me and Chad are going to do the Jags Titans in a little bit here whenever Chad's ready. So we're tune into that as well. And then I will post that bigger parlay. It's going to be a risky one. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to sweat all day and, hopefully win some money while we're doing it and not lose a lot of money if it doesn't hit. We're going to, play a little safe one, but with a lot of risk and a lot of reward there. So, make sure you check that out as well. Happy betting, everybody. Good luck. Peace.